Do you ever wonder if some of the wildest conspiracy theories might actually be true? Throughout history, there have been countless rumors of cover-ups, secret agendas, and hidden truths. But what happens when those crazy theories turn out to be shockingly real? From governmental schemes to mysterious espionage, stay with me as we uncover the most jaw-dropping conspiracy theories that were proven true. And don't forget to watch till the end, because number 1 will make you rethink everything you know. Number 10. MKUltra. MKUltra, once dismissed as a wild conspiracy theory, was a secret CIA mind control program that involved experimenting on unwitting subjects. For over 2 decades, the CIA used drugs like LSD, sensory deprivation, and hypnosis in an attempt to develop new interrogation techniques during the Cold War. These experiments were conducted in complete secrecy and often inflicted severe mental and physical harm on the unsuspecting participants. The U.S. government vehemently denied its existence until 1975, when declassified documents exposed the full extent of the program. Victims of MKUltra were left with lasting trauma, while many of the project's records were destroyed to cover up the details. The revelations sparked outrage and raised significant ethical concerns about government overreach and experimentation. Could this be just the tip of the iceberg? If MKUltra was kept hidden for so long, what other sinister programs might still be lurking in the shadows? Number 9. Operation Mockingbird. During the Cold War, rumors swirled that the CIA was covertly influencing the media. These suspicions turned out to be true with the discovery of Operation Mockingbird, a secret CIA initiative to recruit journalists from prominent news outlets like the New York Times and CBS. Journalists were paid to disseminate propaganda that promoted U.S. interests, particularly during critical events like the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Vietnam War. The operation was designed to sway public opinion and ensure the public received news that aligned with government narratives. While some journalists were aware of their involvement, others were unknowingly manipulated. The exposure of Mockingbird raised concerns about media integrity and the potential for similar manipulation today. Could modern-day media be subjected to the same hidden influences? How often are we unaware of the forces shaping the information we consume? Number 8. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study. From 1932 to 1972, the U.S. government conducted the Tuskegee Syphilis Study, where hundreds of African-American men were misled into believing they were receiving treatment for syphilis. In reality, doctors were studying the effects of the disease when left untreated, even after penicillin became available. The participants were denied proper medical care, resulting in needless suffering and death. When the study was exposed in 1972, it caused national outrage. The legacy of this unethical experiment has fostered mistrust in the medical community, particularly within African-American populations. The U.S. government eventually issued a public apology, but the damage was already done, with families torn apart and lives lost. What other hidden medical experiments have been conducted without the public's knowledge? Could there be more dark secrets lurking within the history of healthcare? Number 7. The Gulf of Tonkin Incident. In 1964, the U.S. government claimed that North Vietnamese forces had attacked 2 American destroyers in the Gulf of Tonkin, providing the justification for escalating military involvement in Vietnam. This incident was presented to the public as an unprovoked act of aggression, leading to the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, which allowed President Lyndon B. Johnson to deploy U.S. forces without a formal declaration of war. However, declassified documents later revealed that the second attack never happened. The U.S. government had exaggerated the incident to sway public opinion and secure support for the war. This deception resulted in years of conflict and the loss of thousands of lives, sparking significant backlash once the truth came to light. Does this make you question other events used to justify war? How many times have governments twisted facts to achieve their goals? Number 6. Project Sunshine. In the 1950s, rumors circulated that the U.S. government was secretly collecting body parts from deceased individuals to study the effects of nuclear radiation. This seemed far-fetched at the time, but it was later confirmed that the government had indeed been conducting experiments under the name Project Sunshine. The most shocking part, they had been harvesting tissue samples from dead infants without the consent of their families. The goal of Project Sunshine was to understand the impact of nuclear fallout on human health by studying bones, which absorbed radiation. The unethical nature of this research caused public outrage when it was finally exposed, as grieving families learned the remains of their loved ones had been used for clandestine experiments. How many scientific advancements have been built on the backs of unethical studies like this one? Could similar secret programs be in place today? Number 5. The Iran-Contra Affair. In the 1980s, conspiracy theories circulated that the U.S. government was secretly selling weapons to Iran in exchange for the release of American hostages, and then funneling the proceeds to support Contra rebels in Nicaragua. Initially denied by the Reagan administration, the truth came out in 1986, revealing a complex web of illegal activities. The scandal exposed the U.S. government's willingness to circumvent its own laws to achieve foreign policy goals. High-ranking officials were implicated, although many were either pardoned or given light sentences. The Iran-Contra Affair significantly damaged public trust in the government and raised questions about the transparency of U.S. foreign policy. If something of this scale can be kept hidden, how many other covert operations might be concealed from public view? Number 4. The Dreyfus Case. In the 1890s, France became embroiled in the Dreyfus Affair, a scandal that shocked the nation and revealed the dark side of its justice system. Alfred Dreyfus, a Jewish officer in the French army, was falsely accused of passing military secrets to Germany. The evidence was flimsy, yet he was convicted and sentenced to life on the infamous Devil's Island. Despite mounting evidence that proved his innocence, the military and government conspired to cover up their mistake. Can you imagine being wrongly accused and imprisoned because of a government cover-up? The case highlighted the rampant anti-Semitism within France's military and political institutions. It wasn't until years of public protest, led by figures like Émile Zola, that Dreyfus was finally exonerated. This affair serves as a reminder of the dangers of prejudice and institutional corruption. How do you think a case like this would be handled today? Would public outcry have the same impact? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Number 3. COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO was an FBI program launched in the 1950s to infiltrate and disrupt political groups that the government deemed dangerous or subversive, such as the civil rights movement and anti-war organizations. This program used surveillance, infiltration, and disinformation to undermine activists like Martin Luther King Jr., often through illegal means. For years, COINTELPRO was dismissed as a paranoid conspiracy, but its existence was confirmed in the 1970s after activists uncovered classified FBI documents. The program had a profound impact on U.S. society as it violated civil liberties and created a legacy of mistrust in government institutions. What other covert operations could be targeting political movements today? How often are our freedoms threatened without our knowledge? Number 2. Watergate Scandal. The Watergate Scandal is one of the most well-known examples of a conspiracy theory turning out to be true. In 1972, 5 men were caught breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate complex. Initially dismissed as a low-level burglary, it was later revealed that the break-in was part of a broader scheme led by President Nixon's administration to sabotage political opponents. The cover-up efforts unraveled, leading to Nixon's resignation in 1974. The scandal exposed the depth of corruption within the highest levels of the U.S. government and fundamentally changed how Americans viewed political leadership. Could similar abuses of power still be happening in secret? How far will those in power go to stay in control? Number 1. The Manhattan Project. During World War II, rumors spread that the U.S. was developing a secret weapon of unimaginable power. At the time, these claims were laughed off as wild speculation. But in 1945, the world learned the terrifying truth when the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Manhattan Project, a top-secret government initiative, had succeeded in developing the first nuclear weapons. Thousands of scientists worked in absolute secrecy on this project, unaware of the full scope of what they were building. The Manhattan Project's success changed the course of history, ushering in the nuclear age and forever altering global geopolitics. If something as monumental as the atomic bomb could be kept secret, what other groundbreaking projects might governments be hiding from us today? And that's how we reach the end of this fascinating but unsettling journey through conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. Each of these revelations shows us just how complex and hidden the world's secrets can be. But remember, these stories don't just end here. They stay with you, lingering in the shadows of your mind, waiting to be uncovered once more. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more intriguing stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to join us on the next adventure into the unknown. Until next time, fellow explorers.